Sometimes I feel like my life is out of my control. My routine doesn't change much, expectations of me seem to just grow every day, and I can't even enjoy my free time anymore. My phone occupies every waking moment, eye contact feels hard, my headphones block out the noise of terrible things happening in this world. Politics, scroll. Brain rot memes, scroll. You're addicted to dopamine, scroll. It sucks. The storm has certainly moved in. But I am here to tell you that there is a glimpse of sunshine breaking through all of this. It starts with an acoustic guitar played with so much love, resonance, and care that it takes you away from all this. And where it ends is the most unlikely place imaginable, in the middle of the jungle, in a world of color, and one silly little curious monkey.
Today, the push to end social media addiction.
My observation has been that people are not all that optimistic about Generation Z. I don't want this feeling to go away.
What do you guys think this song's about? Anybody have a guess?
Curious George is one of the most timeless, wholesome, and lovable characters in all of children's fiction. I still remember reading the books with my Nana when I was little, making monkey noises along the way, trying to figure out what exactly the word curious even meant. There is a certain aura around these stories that stands out amongst the crowd of other childhood characters, one that is full of so much sunshine and joy that it serves as a true escape from all things bad and dark in this world. So much care weaves its way through each page's illustrations, a shading that encompasses strange new lands and a smile that is contagious. When I read these books for the first time, I fell in love with them with full awareness. They taught me that naive optimism was one of the most powerful forces in the universe. I know, it's obvious, right? How this book makes you feel good. It's a children's book. Duh, it's not that deep. Which is why we need to pivot for a moment. From darkness to light, back to even heavier darkness.
The first air raid of this war on Paris was made by well over 200 bombers and resulted in the death of more than 250 people, the majority of them civilians, 10 of them schoolchildren.
The day is June 14th, 1940. The location, Paris. The time, early morning. An evil is entering the city, spreading its darkness across the beautiful artistry, vacant homes, and musical spaces gone silent. In the summer morning still, a man frantically pieces together two bicycles. His name is Hans Ray. The other bicycle's for his wife, Margaret. Time is ticking. The last train carrying refugees out of Paris has already left. The enemy is near. Grabbing nothing except coats, a small amount of food, and 5 manuscripts, they were out of time. It was time to leave. The couple set off down the cobbled pathways of the ancient city, praying that the chains on their bikes and chains between one another hold fast. They do. After 4 days, they make it to the border, sell the bikes for train tickets to Lisbon, hop on a ship to Brazil, and eventually end up in New York City. They were safe. I suppose I should mention what was written on those manuscripts, something so important to them that they took it instead of more food or other practical items. It was drawings, pencil strokes that would end up changing the lives of millions of people, including me. It was sketches of a monkey, one that was inspired by real monkeys the couple cared for when they lived together in Brazil. His name was Fifi, and was seen in the couple's first published children's book in Paris in 1939. But now that they were in a brand new place with a brand new audience, the couple decided, with recommendations from their publisher, to change the name to something that sounded a bit more American. Curious George was born. This is somewhat of a well-known story, one that shows the tumultuous history of one of the most well-known symbols of our childhoods. In many ways, it inspires me, knowing that even in the darkest moments, the most beautiful things can emerge, can be salvaged. Even if you've heard the story before, it is always great to hear it again, to be reminded that there is hope in everything, in all parts of life. All of the adventures Curious George has embarked on, all the way from the very beginning, and the 7 original stories Hans and Margaret published, have sold millions of copies and continue to be published to this day. This couple's riveting origin story of their dream, you can see it in the pages. The love they have for their craft, not just because they were talented, but because this was their life. With each drawing, a sense of ease is brought onto the canvas, as if you can hear the sighs of relief pouring out in vibrant colors and warm expressions. It's beautiful knowing the context of what was at stake here. This is how you and I know this cute little monkey, because of the courage and dedication of one couple to their mission to change children's lives. And here's the thing, our story is only just beginning, because a certain movie was released in 2006 that would end up becoming a staple of our childhoods. Hi, sorry to interrupt, this is editing me. This entire movie is locked up by copyright more than fucking Fort Knox for some reason, so just enjoy, monkey business happening in the background. Okay, that's all. This movie was the real reason I made this video in the first place. When I was a kid, this movie was everything to me and my little sister. I remember quite vividly watching it in the car on our ceiling-mounted DVD player while driving across Kansas, laughing at all the shenanigans George was up to. Oh yeah, we were a bougie family. We had like the DVD, it would like pop down and like all of our discs would play wrong in it because it was like kind of half broken, but that's fine. Besides the point, I'm ashamed to admit that as the years went on, I forgot a lot about this movie. Eventually, I forgot what the plot was even about in the first place, only having very rough images still left in my head. I'm pretty sure he goes in a rocket ship at some point in this movie, but I couldn't remember really for certain, so I rented it for... It's $4 on Amazon? Why is this film's rent literally half of its total price tag? That makes zero sense. I sat down with my girlfriend and watched this classic from all those years ago, not quite knowing what to expect. What I was met with was some of the most wholesome feelings I've felt in a very long time. Don't worry, we'll get to the music, but I'd like to first discuss just how beautiful this film is to look at. The colors are so vibrant and expressive, using simple shading to help create a world that feels like a massive playground. Just in the first few seconds of this film, you're shown this signature style coupled with a beautiful glowing outline around George, because he da monkey. But not only does this highlight the subject of the film, duh, but it creates this feeling of softness by being easy on the eyes and emphasizes the silly movements the characters are doing. Every scene has a color palette dissolved in gradients to further encapsulate the beauty of this world George and all of his friends live in. It reminds me of how I used to see the world as a kid. As the film progresses, curiosity obviously makes its way into the story as the main theme, catalyzing the plot to keep George moving along his journey. Furthermore, the art style goes right along with him, bringing the beautiful aura of the jungle and painting it over the city skyline. There's just this optimism everywhere you look. I haven't even mentioned how the use of 2D animation allows for full expressivity of these themes, while staying as close to the original art style of the books as possible. I could talk about this for literal hours, but what I'm really getting at here is that this film shows that it had a lot of love put into it. Now, I know you've waited patiently, we're like over 8 minutes into the video, so let's talk about that beautiful guitar in the background. Well, kinda. I can't include like the actual song because of copyright issues on YouTube, so like you're just gonna have to bear with me here. So I'm gonna try and find some acoustic guitar stuff on my own, but it'll work. I cannot express how genius it was to hire Jack Johnson to help out with the soundtrack to this movie. Jack grew up in Hawaii, serving the northern shows of Oahu since he was a young boy. Although he played guitar at a young age, it was surfing that was his real passion. His father, Jeff Johnson, taught him the intricacies of the sport, and at only 17 years old, Jack became the youngest surfer to make the finals at the Pipeline Masters, one of the most prestigious surfing competitions in the world. But as I've mentioned earlier, this story, and all of its light, also has darkness as well.
Okay, Jack, I wanted to know why you told everyone that that wave you hurt yourself on Well, I told everyone that I said you won't go on that. Why did you do that? You trying to make me feel bad?
I didn't tell anybody that, Kelly.
No, Jack. Why did you tell people that? I don't understand. You know it wasn't true.
I didn't.
Well, on to the next question. How's your head?
My head is doing a lot better.
Hurry up.
It's doing a lot better.
Okay. Well, what are you gonna get for Christmas? What do you want for Christmas?
New guitar.
Not even a week later, after being admitted to this competition, his life's dream, Jack was involved in a surfing accident that required over 100 stitches and a few teeth to be removed. What the surfing world calls the pipeline is a reef break located off of Oahu shore where massive waves crush into the deep, cavernous reef bed that creates both incredible waves and a disastrous landing pad for surfers. This isn't to mention the jagged lava spires that jut from the bottom of the ocean, creating a hidden world of danger underneath the foam. The pipeline has claimed the lives of a multitude of surfers and injured countless more. And for Jack Johnson, he was no exception. All of a sudden, a once prolific career was thrown out to sea. But this event didn't stop Jack from expressing himself. Rather than carving waves and competing in competition, he instead poured his soul into something new: music. As his career flourished from his acoustic guitar skills and a soft vocal style, he routinely referenced his profound love for nature and a deep sense of environmental activism. From this, the producers of the Curious George film took note and approached Jack to write the soundtrack. But what he did wasn't just simply writing a kids' movie soundtrack for some extra money. No. Instead, he handcrafted songs that would stick with a generation of kids forever. The guitar melody was simple. Bongos were used in the background to add a little playful beat. A subtle drum kit was used to add emphasis, and of course, his voice paired with the lyrics expressed a love for life that is so rare to find. This song didn't just teach me to be curious, but it taught me to love, to feel unconditionally, and has been one of the best nostalgic escapes I have ever had the pleasure of listening to. He turned my world and everything it's about upside down. Curious George, from just my research writing this video, has truly started to make his way into multiple facets of my life. In this gray, gloomy part of the year, it feels quite difficult finding color. But from watching this film, listening to this music, reflecting on the story of Hans and Margaret, I can't help but start to see color in, well, everything. All of a sudden, light seeping through a window feels more orange and comfortable. The sky looks just a bit more blue, and the dead tree branches symbolize more of what is to come rather than what is lost. I want to live my life more curious. I want to learn new things, be kind to myself when I don't know answers. I want to create as much as I can and laugh as much as possible.
Monkey.
It is no secret that this series of children's books has been wildly successful and one of the best things to come out of the 20th century in both pop culture and literature realms. But rather than simply latching onto Curious George and his nostalgic weight, which don't get me wrong, it's there for sure, and that's probably one of the reasons you clicked on this video, I want you to think more deeply about it than that. This isn't supposed to be just a nostalgia bait video, this is supposed to be something more. He can't fix all of this without a change in belief. You know what? Let me start over. It is strange to think that life twists and turns its way through darkness and light in a butterfly effect way. Honestly, the more I think about it, the more astonished I get. Curious George is a character that I would not expect to find intertwined with this fate. Simply put, he is technically just a childhood nostalgia icon and nothing more. I'm not going to pretend that now I watch his TV show religiously or listen to this film's soundtrack on repeat, although I do listen to a lot of Jack Johnson. Anyway, for something that feels so insignificant when first thinking about it, it's crazy to think that the story of this monkey and this music are so juxtaposed by the yin and yang that both humanity and Mother Nature have to offer. Creativity soars to new heights here, and waves crash everything into the black abyss there. Yet, through all of their darkness, through all of this yin and yang relationship, they still show us what life is worth living for. From being threatened by one of the most evil men in human history to almost being killed by the beauty of the ocean, this music, this idea, this love for curiosity has still managed to find its way into my heart, along with the hearts of millions of others. Like I said, sometimes it feels like my life is out of my control. I know I have a future and I want to make it happen, but my routine sometimes swallows me whole and refuses to let me see things from a new perspective. Wake up early, try to avoid social media, fail miserably, complete more busy work assignments, try to not think about the fact that I'm playing video games instead of doing something actually, productive. All of it is dark, light, dark, light, dark, light, dark, light, until I just spiral out of control. Time is fleeting. Am I wasting time, or am I wasting time thinking about all this time I'm wasting? Maybe I should get up earlier, maybe I should clean my room, maybe fold my pile of laundry, maybe actually write that essay, or maybe just ignore the crumbling world outside, or maybe distract myself with shallow memes, and it is so easy to think that this life is just a series of pointless distractions. And then I sit down, put in my headphones, and just remember. Curious George can fix all of this.